Hello, everyone. Welcome to Hangouts with RAKStars. We're happy to be here once again with you all. In this session, we're going to be having a really hand-on session with our RAK team members next to Jose Marcelino, our solution
Button,
architect. Yeah,
button.
a lot of buttons on the People's Network. And also, Johan is going to be here with us as well, sharing a little bit more about how we can start validating the helium coverage in our cities. So yeah, how you doing, guys? Today, how was your Friday so far?
Oh, the week. Yeah, I mean,
All the week, yeah.
we've been away for 2 weeks from now, right? So
Yeah, exactly. And you had a really busy week today, this week with the Solano conference. Actually, how was that? How was the people getting interested in helium and as well and this ecosystem of the Internet of Things mixed with the crypto ecosystem?
yeah, so it was really interesting. The Solana conference. If you don't know, Solana is a crypto, like the Helium token is a crypto. But it's a particularly fast crypto, fast and kind of energy efficient crypto.
Mm-hmm.
It was developed actually by some engineers from Qualcomm, so there's got some telecoms background as well, and they are kind of close partners with Helium. So it was fun to be there. We have met a lot of happy Helium miner users, including with RAKs, mostly with RAKs, right? I mean, everyone was happy as
Amazing.
a RAK, basically. And yeah, so it was great to meet and learn about all the stuff that's happening in crypto, which is really amazing. Less like the development is off the charts in the crypto space now.
Okay. Well, that is really nice. Thanks for sharing that. And yeah, like for today's session, we're going to be getting more deep on how we can start like validating the helium coverage in our cities, as well as has how we can start using it. And that is why we have Johan over here, since he built a project next to the community support, which is the Helium Mapper based on the Helium Developer Kit, and he make it really easy for anyone to who receive the Helium Developer Kit to just interconnect the GPS models and the accelerometers and just follow a step-by-step guide that is super easy to understand and to replicate it. And he's going to be sharing that with us today. So Johan, I think the stage is yours to get started and sharing all the things that you have been doing.
Yeah, go, Joan.
Okay, let's start mapping.
Nice.
So I'm gonna share my screen to
Perfect.
show you what's the guide we are talking about.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to be publishing over the chat. So if anyone can just go and check the guide out, just click there and you are ready to go. So here we are.
Mhm.
So this guide is already published on our news center. This guide covers all the steps that you need to follow to set up a Helium mapper using the Helium Developer Kit, or if you already have WisBlock from WisBlock connected box, or you have all the modules that you need, you can build your mapper. But what exactly is a mapper? A mapper is a LoRaWAN device which has a GPS module and can send the location information to something that is called the Helium Mappers project. The Helium Mappers project is a community effort that it's looking for to provide more information about the effective coverage of the hotspots deployed around the world. For example, if you already know a little bit about Helium, you know that there is a map, the Explorer map, where you can find all the hotspots deployed around the world. The mappers has a similar map to that. However, these maps shows all the regions where there is LoRaWAN coverage provided by all those hotspots deployed. For example, if I go to a section of the map, I can find great regions where there is a hotspot deployed, maybe one, maybe more hotspots. And these X green regions are those ones who are being colored by some mappers users. So this means, for example, there was a community member driving in his car around these places, and the device could send a LoRaWAN message. So for every region, you can see the information about which hotspots receive the packet that the mapper sent, and information about how the signal was. For example, the signal strength, the signal to noise ratio, and the distance from the device to the hotspot. This is approximated distance. However, it give us an information about how far was the hotspot to the LoRaWAN node. So this is how the coverage map looks right now. However, any one of you can contribute to this map coverage by building a mapper. So there is a detailed documentation about how is structured the project and how to make your own mapper. There are several alternatives to getting started. In this case, we prepared a detailed guide on how to start mapping with the WisBlock. So basically the requirements are WisBlock, some WisBlock modules, the core, the WisBlock base, the antennas for the GPS and LoRaWAN stuff. And for getting the location information, a GPS and the accelerometer, the acceleration sensor, in order to give more, in order to develop a more smart sensor, which only send LoRaWAN package when it's needed. For example, when it's moving around those places.
I think like also one thing to add over here, like more than also doing like more smarter, is that if you are sending, for example, GPS data every, I don't know, 20 seconds, and you don't know if your device is moving or not, you are wasting like a dot right there. And that dot that you are sending, it's transfer on a data credits that you are like losing that are not too much, but it's something. And also, it also helps you to decrease the battery life of your to extend the battery life of your mapper. So you know that you can have that device right there mapping coverage without needing the charging for a couple of weeks.
Yes, for sure. So this is how you can connect the WisBlock modules in order to build your mapper. There are some comments about how to connect the antennas, how to place the GPS antenna, some power supplies recommendations. In this case, we are using this enclosure with this, which allows to recharge the WisBlock with the solar panel, and yeah, this is how it looks inside. For flashing the firmware, this firmware, it uses something that is really new to us, which is the WisBlock API. We talked a little bit about that in a previous section. This WisBlock API allows us to get some interesting tools that allow us to set up the device in a very easy way. and flashing the firmware as well. So there are some aspects that are related to the Helium console itself. This is for example, creating the device in the Helium console for the first time. So there are some animations about those specific clicks that you need to do in order to create your device. For setting up your LoRaWAN parameters, basically you have two main alternatives. The first one is using the serial port by connecting the WisBlock to one of the USB ports of your computer. This is how it looks when you are setting up these parameters, and how it looks every output after sending those commands. And the other alternative is using the BLE features of the WisBlock by using the an mobile application in order to send all this information over BLE. This application, the original application, the first one, is the WisBlock Toolbox app, which is available only for Android devices at this moment. However, you can, if you are an iOS user, you can use another alternative, which is the NRF Toolbox app, which includes a UR module. This UR module allows us to send all the same 80 commands that we can send when we connect the WisBlock to the serial port as well. So this is how you can send one of the basic 80 commands and the answers that you get when you are using iOS or Android. The first time the WisBlock make a join request to the console, this is how it looks in the console, and there is an option to open at the book view where you can watch to the message when they have arrived in real time to the Helium console. While you are moving with your mapper, you can connect with your phone to the WisBlock and start debugging how it's the behavior of the WisBlock. And for example, the accelerometer detect movement. So we are going to try to get a GPS location right now and watch and what it's the location at that moment, and if we are going to send a new LoRaWAN package with those location information, with that location information. After that, now we can add a decoder, which is this function that allow us to decode the frames that we are sending as a LoRaWAN, as the payload of the LoRaWAN packet. This includes the location information, the accuracy, and the battery about the WisBlock in order to monitor how the battery level of our WisBlock as well. This is how to enter that decoder as a function in the Helium console. The description of the mapper integration and how to add it in the Helium console as well is basically an HTTP request that that we are sending to the mappers API. And finally, we already have all the blocks that we need in the Helium console, and we only need to connect them using this very user-friendly way to do it, which is the flows in the Helium console. Here we can debug all the integration by clicking in the debug view, which is available in the flows view as well. There is something important to highlight over here, that by default, when we are receiving our LoRaWAN packets in the Helium console, by default, only one hotspot. We only receive the information from only one hotspot, because it's like a way to reduce the amount of data credits that we need to invest in order to get those messages. However, for the mapping project, we need more. It's better to have more information about how many hotspots we are reaching, and the information about those hotspots as well, because in order to build this kind of views where I'm in one specific place and several hotspots here in my device.
So basically, like the main meaning is like you can evaluate based on your device the coverage that those specific hotspots are providing around a specific area. So that means that you have an open network, LoRaWAN network, that is right there for you to start building your solutions. Just like to give you like like an example over here, like for all of those who are IoT enthusiasts or IoT developers. Like I think we all of us who are working on the IoT ecosystem, we were dreaming of having an open LoRaWAN network right there to be able to use it in an easy and fast way, because some years ago we had to make a big investment in order to have a gateway deploying it and also be able to using it. But right now there are people around deploying these hotspots, and we can take the benefit or take that coverage and start building our solutions. And also, if you have the opportunity to get one of these miners and start expanding the coverage yourself as well in your area, will be super awesome, because since the Helium network provides you a reward based on the transactions that your hotspot are acting on the network, how they are validating coverage among the other ones. That means that that like earnings that you are getting, you can also use it to coverage the fees of the data credits that are a less amount of value, but you can like just cover that fee, and it's an entirely free service that you are using for that. So it's pretty nice. And now all of those who have a LoRa node and they say, yeah, I have a node, but I don't have any gateway to start like testing that node, don't worry, just go to the Explorer map, explorer.helium.com page. You can check out if in your region there is any hotspot deployed. You can go and be nearby deploying a Helium mapper, start validating the coverage around, and you can start deploying many sensors on top of that network without you having to deploy that specific gateway. So just something that I would like to highlight over here.
Yeah, and it's really great, for example, when you are the first one in your city and it's starting mapping, because you can start going everywhere and see and watch in the mapper side in real time when those regions start to lining up. For example, in this case, it's something that we started over here in Medellin, when we built our mappers and start driving around the city or walking around the city, and it's really great. For example, if you are mapping for the first time in your city, that's a really nice experience. And even if your city is already mapped, you can update those regions, because every time a new dot is colored, the information about new hotspots in range can vary and things like that. So
Definitely.
this is basically our guide on how to make a helium mapper with the WisBlock. We hope you really enjoyed mapping with the WisBlock, and if you build your mapper, you can share your results with our theme and with the community members, and we have a giveaway for you. It's if you share those results in your Twitter account and tag the RAKwireless and the Helium mapping accounts, you can get a t-shirt, the t-shirt of the People's Network, for the RAK's t-shirt for the People's Network.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah, that's right. And also I want to like take this opportunity to encourage all the people that are here around here and that are based on South America, since there is like one of the places that are less mapped right, like less mapped right now. So you already have gateways deployed in your regions. There is Mexico, Colombia, Argentina. There are many places with these hotspots already deployed, but the idea is to start mapping it as well to evaluate which kind of IoT solution we can start deploying on top of the network. So, Johan, thanks for bringing this brief introduction about the Mappers project, and also to build this awesome guide to help anyone to start building their own mappers. And now that we know that we have the network right there and we have validated coverage, we want to build solutions in top of the network. So that is why Jose and I are here to give you like a small introduction of how you can build an feedback system using the WisNode Button 4K, which is this one that I have over here. Also, Jose have like 20 around around him.
Yeah.
Exactly. He have one. I have one here with some like faces as well. This is just a sticker that I place on top of the buttons. But yeah, we're going to share an introduction on how you can quickly set up the device, how you can set up the keys and register in the Helium console, how you can start sending data, and then how you can process the data that's being received to sending over to an Ubidots account, which is an IoT platform that helps you to build scalable IoT solutions and an application, and also allows you to fully customize the application itself. So, Jose, it's your turn to jump on the stage and help us with the hardware setup.
Yeah, sure. So the hardware setup. So you need to set your EY, so all your keys first, and for that, as you go into the console. Let me share my screen here. One moment. Log me off. One moment. Maybe first let me just share something else about the mapper still, if you don't mind, Maria.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I was actually tracking the sun trackers for the conference during this week.
Please share that.
But this was not based on Johan's amazing tracker, but because we were actually shipping this through the post, and we wanted like a more commercial product. So I used something from Paul Pinault. So this is Disk91. He's a very well-known guy. But it's also kind of a hacker solution. So he created this himself. He builds his own trackers. So kind of shows that any person with enough skill can do it. So here we see. I mean, it does. He has even a dashboard with all the nice stuff. So I'll pick one here. This is maybe not the best one. Yeah, so let's see this one. So this shows like the whole route from basically his house to the conference. Here you can scroll 2 times, so you can look at like where it was in France. I don't want to show his address though. So so Clermont-Ferrand in France is very well covered by Paul himself and many others there. So you can see the whole track through the post office, basically. And then it starts getting shipped. Let's see. So it stays there for a while. And then it gets sent by airmail, basically. And you can see it arriving at Lisbon Airport, which will be there. And then you can see the whole route from the airport, which is there, down to Setúbal, which is where the final delivery was made. So this is through the bridge. You can even see data over the bridge. The time it was sending is so it sends 1 location per minute when it has good GPS coverage. And then it was like finally delivered. So this just shows that Helium is everywhere. It's like in France, in Portugal, everywhere, and it's very useful already. We actually found through this that so Paul posted it in his post office, but we found that was DHL handling the actual sending of the parcel, not the post office. So we can find stuff about the supply chain as well.
That is amazing.
Which is cool. And we are packages all the time. So
exactly.
I was actually a bit stressed because they said that they couldn't deliver. There was no one home, and then I kind of
but you know the exact location of it.
Yeah, I know where it was, and I was like, oh my, have they stolen it now?
Oh man.
But yeah, so it just shows, and this is all Helium Network. It was super cheap. I mean, it costs less than a cent to track, and
amazing.
The trackers last months on the battery. Okay, so just a little side note.
No, that is amazing. So yeah, like anyone can use this to track like either a package or I don't know, your bike, your scooters, your backpacks, your pets, anything that you need to track, any assets. The network is right there for you to start building your GPS and start taking the advantage of this technology in favor of your companies as well.
Yep. Okay, so now to the buttons. So this was another thing we did for the conference as well. I ended up showing it there. So it's just taking the buttons and showing a very practical use case. The buttons are very small. You can put them anywhere. They don't need any wires, which is great. So if you want to deploy something in minutes, you can just do it with the Wiz button. Here we see all the buttons we set up for the conference. I happen to have Wiz button 17 here. And to do this, you just add a new device, so we can, so you come here, you would say Wiz button 22. Then you can use the assigned dev UIs and app UIs here, and also the app key. And then, then you don't need that. can attach a label or not, and then save device, and then you have a WisButton 22. So it says pending for a while. This is getting added tied to the blockchain. It stays like this for maybe an hour or so. If it's more than
Around
an hour, yeah.
20 minutes. I add one this morning and took 20 minutes.
Yeah, it
Let's
can
say.
change, but yeah, after 1 hour, maybe you should
Yeah.
get stressed and think what's going wrong.
Mhm.
But that's kind of it. And then you can take these keys and program that. And for that, you need a serial cable. So these buttons don't have Bluetooth, so you cannot use the configuration that Johan was showing, which is great. So it's a little bit trickier. And now I need to find the cable. Give me one moment.
It can be a little bit trickier, but in some way we can say like the 80 commands as well as the documentation that RAKwireless have in docs.rakwireless.com help you to go through all the process in an easy way, and you can just in a few minutes set up like the entire device. You can set up like the keys, which is one of the things that Jose will be sharing, or also you can set up which is the type of which is the data type structure you are sending. Let's say that you want to send a specific data information when the button one is pressed, or other one when it's the button two, and so on. So those configurations are going to depend entirely on the solution that you are looking to build. For example, in this case, for the demo that we're going to be sharing, we are going to be just forwarding number one in each of the buttons, with the purpose of identifying all the number ones as a flag, a positive flag on the platform, and then we can sum up all the numbers, all the ones that are being received, all the total flags, and know exactly which is how many times the button was pressed in a specific time, either on a day, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, on a total, since the device has been deployed in any field. So this is ideal for example, feedback system applications, in case that you want to know if you have an establishment and to know the customer scale satisfaction, that you can just place this in the hall of a hotel, or maybe in your co-working space, or in your gym. Anything you would like to place it, you can do it. Also, next to the Helium team, we create a pretty cool blog post on their Helium blog that you can check out. And right there, we specify a little bit more about the use case itself, the technology, and how you can explore it for different use cases that you are trying to deploy in your cities. Just a chat a little bit here, since Jose finds the USB cable.
Yeah, I could only find USB-C, so this is a
Oh,
disaster. No, but
okay.
I found it the right one.
Okay,
So,
okay.
I mean, the first thing is you need to put the device into configuration mode, and that's by pressing the 1 and 3 buttons at the same time. Just hold them there for a while, and then the LEDs should show all blues. I don't know if you can see it or not.
Yeah, a little bit.
The
Yeah.
lighting, yeah. So they're all blue, and that means the device is now in configuration mode. So now I can connect it to the USB, and then I'll share here my USB serial tool. Where is it? Yes. Okay. Okay. So now you can, I think you need to set the speed.
Yeah, there are some configurations that you need to make in order to match the serial communication with the devices, with the WisNode Button, and you can find all those specific setups settings on the documentation. I'm going to be sharing the links over the comments as well.
Yeah. And I've got the wrong speed, of course. So um, mm, mm. Can you remind me the speed? Maybe is it this one?
You are mute,
Yes.
Mari.
Yeah, I got it.
Sorry.
No problem. Okay, so it's 115,000 bps. So now we got this, so we can send the commands to configure the button, which are all kind of AT command based. For the demo, we need to tell which string gets sent for each button. So we do that with AT. I cannot type.
Maybe on the settings of the serial communication port, you are not adding the right option. That could be an
Mm,
option.
yeah, maybe. Oh yeah, I've got no echo. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, now we are there.
I hope so. Yes. Okay. So that just tells the number one button sends a one string.
Mm-hmm.
Then we do the same for the second one. And we do the same for the third one and the fourth one.
Bu-
And now we set the keys. So that's through the AT set config command. And then you tell it what you need to set, basically. And here we want to set the LoRa dev UI.
Jose, sorry, I
Yes.
have something to add. Since the command for the AT button, like we have the command AT button equal, then we have like the button that we want to configure, which is the number one or up to four. And
Mm-hmm.
then we have the port, and then we have the data. But in this
Right.
case, we need to send one for each of the buttons. So it should be for the number two, three, and four.
Oh,
It
all
should end
ones.
in one. Yeah, exactly.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Let me set
Yeah, go ahead.
the device first. So if I add a new device, it won't work. So I'll use an existing device. I'll just borrow it. Let's see. So now this is the dev UI from the Helium console. Then we add the app UI as well.
Mm-hmm.
So there are basically three settings. It's dev UI, app UI, and then the app key.
Mm-hmm.
And you can just copy that as well. The app UI will be usually the same on the Helium console for the same application. So you can usually know that. What changes is the device UI and the app key. And finally, we have the app key, and that's to see the app key. You've got to press the I button, which is because the key is hidden. So you need to unhide it first, and then you get the whole string. And it's not set. Now I can tell it to join.
And also, like one other things to highlight over here is that, like for example, the WisNode button can join in different type of join processes. However, Helium Network just allows right now the OTA join processor mode, and for set this network, you can just set the command at plus set config LoRa, and using the join mode equal to 0. And also, if you need to set up the region of your device, you need to do it. You need to do it using the region at command that you can easily also find out on the documentation. Maybe, Jose, do you have like a Helium like hotspot nearby or a light hotspot?
Yes, but it may be kind of under maintenance.
No, that's nice. Actually, I also
Mm,
have one over here. Let
yeah,
me check. Let me check
maybe you
on
can
my
try.
side how it's everything going. Just 1 second.
If I copied something wrong. No.
Okay, here we are. Let me send one dot over here. Join.
Mm. Oh well.
Okay, join success on my side. So
Okay, good.
let me. The thing is that I am on the other computer, so please just give me a minute to just join from the other one. So StreamYard. Okay, here we are. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Oh, share over here, share screen, share, and serial port here on title. Okay, so you can see it right here. So basically, let me just clear the data. And after I set up like all the commands that Jose just shared, the data structure type and also the keys, and then you can join the network by just pressing the sending the at join network command, and you will receive a join success. Or if you have an issue with a network for some reason, you can receive the message that Jose was receiving. But if you receive any of this code, don't get afraid, like don't get scared about it. You can just refer to the documentation, evaluate which is the issue that you are having, and then you can easily identify which is the main issue. So after the device joins the network, you can just start pressing in any of the buttons. For example, I'm going to press like the button number 1, and you will see that the number 1 is pressed and the data is sent properly. If I press number 2, you also will see the okay message saying that this data was properly sent, and so on. So after this data is sent, you can just evaluate this data that is coming from the buttons in top of the console. So for that, I'm going to also share once again my screen. Share screen here, and we have a window Helium console. So here we can see the device that Jose just created is still on pending because it takes some time to set up. And right here I have the WisNode Button 18 set up on my side. So I just press the button like 4 times, and you can see that all this data was like properly received. And in order to decode this data and put it in a format that is understandable for the request that we're going to be making to the to the Ubidots account, we need to decode the data that is coming from the sensor. So the first option here, after you evaluate that your device is receiving data properly. For example, here I'm going to just for testing purposes, I'm going to to press the button, and it was just received over here, as you can see. And then if you can evaluate some, let's say the book, how your device is behaving, you can just press this book little icon over here so you can have a better understanding of the data transmission. But as I just mentioned, we need to build a function, which basically is the function that allows you to decode the data that you are receiving. To create it, it's pretty simple. You just need to press the plus icon, or you can just press over here and add the information of your decoder. For example, decoder test over here. Then you highlight the decoder type, and here choose the format. For the case that we are going to be sharing, you need to use the custom script one, and here you can place your decoder, and then you can just click save function, and that decoder is going to be saved. However, I already have this decoder set up, and basically this is a decoder that we need. It's a pretty short decoder. Actually, these are not needed, but I leave it right there because in case that you want to send the data in another structure as I am sending it, you can just take that as a reference and change it as you need it. So basically what we're doing over here is creating a dictionary as the key variable, and then I am identifying which key is pressing the button, and I am sending a number one for each of the keys that is sending that data when I press that button. So basically, I am returning the key that it's being received. However, let's say that I don't want to send a number one as a flag positive for my solution, but I want to send any other kind of data. You can just like comment this section and then uncomment these ones. And here you can just like in the value of the keys, you can add any information that you would like to set up. For example, happy or excited or anything that you would like to highlight over here, just to let you know about that. But I'm not going to save the changes. I'm going to just refresh. And this is the function that I'm going to be using it. So here we have it. So after I place this function and I configure it, we need to handle the integration module from two platform we would like to send the data, right? In this case, I am going to be using Ubidots as an IoT platform. And to create the integration, it's pretty simple. You just need to go to press the plus icon, then select Ubidots HTTP integration. And then you need to go to your Ubidots account. In case you don't have one, you can go and create yours. Then here under the icon, like of the photo profile icon, you need to press on API credentials, and you can use your token. Here, I'm not going to use the hidden one since it's private, but I'm going to use the default one, which is for demo purposes. So I just need to place my token over here, click on the Get Webhook URL button, and this will automatically create a data plugin on the Ubidots account in order to start forwarding the data together. So then I just need to press continue and add a name for it. So we can say Ubidots integration test, for example, and add integration, and that's it. Here you have your Ubidots integration already set up. But what is this and how this like relates to Ubidots, I do not understand, and which are the other advantages that I can take by using Ubidots instead of other platforms. For example, here, if you go to the device model, you will see that is plugin model in this section. This plugin is the one that was just created by the integration that I just set up. So right here, I have two because I used to have one, and we just create one integration. I'm going to open any of them. And this plugin is basically how they are receiving the data. Here's a general configuration. Here are more like what other things you would like to set up in your plugin, and also how you are decoding the data. So all these, for example, if you go to the device section and you open your device and go through data book, and you press a button, you will receive all this data. So all this data that is in uplink integration request, it's being sent to Ubidots. So they need to parse all this information to only get the data that you are sending. So this, let's say, decoding functions is doing that, and also it's taking other additional information from your hotspots or from the hotspot that these devices are transmitting data in order for you to have a better understanding of how the network is behaving. So basically, this is what this decoder is doing. This works for either for the WIS button or for the WisBlock or for any LoRa node that you want to transmit data to the platform. So after this device will start sending data, like all the different buttons, and also this information from the gateways that I just from the hotspot that I just mentioned. And by default, I already have created one over here. By default, the Helium integration just allows a different, like a couple of variables. It will send automatically if you send like a dot from any device. You will see the dot of the buttons that you are pressing, for example, as well as the frame counter and the port. Those are the variables that are created by default. However, Ubidots have like different features that allows you to manipulate your data and understand it or have some analytics in top of it. So if I open the device section, I will see a big list of all the buttons that I have set up on the account. I can change this view to a more friendly one. Or if I want it here because I want to filter by the last activity in order to find a device more quickly, I can just enter to it, and the data that is being set automatically is just button 1, button 2, button 3, and button 4. Frame counter, port, and this additional parameter from the hotspot itself. However, as I mentioned in the beginning, if we're sending multiple like number ones as a positive flag, what I need to do is calculate and make a sum up of the total number of ones that were received on a specific data range. It can be weekly, it can be monthly, or it can be the total of the sum up of this account. So that is why Ubidots has this feature, which is synthetic variables that allows you to get the data from the different variables and make a more mathematical like computations in top of them. But imagine like having to do like all these synthetic variables, all the ones that are on purple are synthetic variables. So imagine do this for all the buttons that you're going to set up. Like that doesn't make too much sense, right? Because you have to set up many variables after your device is sending data. But if you jump into the device tab module, and you can then start adding more variables in order to set up all the devices that are being transmitting data over this integration to Ubidots, and then evaluate the devices, the basic variable, and then you can computate this variable in a more generic way. So after setting up this data type, all the devices that are going to be sending data to Ubidots account will take all this configuration for all the devices by just clicking one thing. So it's pretty cool. Just a feedback, a feature that I would like to highlight to you, because sometimes people do many things manually and they don't know they have this cool feature that allows you to quickly set up their solutions, and they can quickly customize, I don't know, their name or how they are communicating with them through the API label, or they can also change the icon of it to another icon, or either the appearance of the different devices, variable or synthetic variables. And also you can also set up like some tasks. It seems like if this variable reach out, example, this number of total sum ups, I need to, I don't know, arrange a call, for example. So that is something that you can do. So basically, this is how the data is being received, but you will be imagining, okay, but how is all this integration? Thanks to the flow feature on the Helium console, what you need to do is that you don't if you don't only have one button but you have multiple buttons, you can take the advantage of the label features that the Helium console I have. So by adding all the devices that you have in your Helium console to a specific label, that will group all the devices under that label. So that means that all devices that are being transmitted data can be connected to the decoder that we just set up, and then the decoders will be transmitted data to the Ubidots section. So it's pretty easy to set up. Just here you can set up the labels here as I just made it. You can click on it and then press it over here, but since I already have it, you can see the action. But this is how it's work, and this is how you will see all your devices transmitting data to the Ubidots. But you will say, okay, I want to see this in a more friendly way, and I want to interact with different sensors at the same times. You can easily do it. For example, we have a dynamic dashboard features that allows you to easily, like having the same template for all the dashboard, but you can just jump among the different sensors and check the data of each of them. For example, this is the one that I have over here. I'm going to refresh the website just to make sure I have like all the data coming from. And these are the statistics that I have so far. And the total of the button, I have been pressing the button for 21 times. Then I have the button one for 7 times, and the other one, the number 2 for 14, and the other one for 17. And if I start like pressing, let's say I'm going to press the button number 3. It's being pressed. And now let me. Oh, sorry. Here. Okay. So I'm going to press the button number 3. Twice here, the button number 3 is in 7. So if I'm going to be pressing it twice, I should be. Oh, this is for a try. Okay, for some reason. Well, I press it twice and I get here the number 9 option since it's get updated. For some reason, my pie chart it's not loading properly, not sure why, but you can see on the charts below that the device, the button number 3, increased from number 7 to number 9 over here. Here I'm going to check out for the with button number 18. Okay, here we have the pie chart once again. I'm going to just refresh just to make sure we have the proper information. And here we have number 9, and of course number 9, and here we also have, okay, it's not updating properly right now over the demo, but this is how it works. And here you can see like the same data since we are on a demo, but if you have this system deployed on any establishment and it has captured data for a long time, you can just filter this data by weekly basis, by monthly basis of just having the total of them. But let's say that you want to just offer these solutions under your brand, under your company brand or something like that. It's something pretty cool that you can do with Ubidots because they provide an application feature that allows you to build white label applications. So we set up an application for RAK. So if you want to join like this application, this is like we can say that is the RAKwireless IoT platform, just to give you an example. But that can be your brand. So here you can just use your username and your password and join to it. For example, I'm going to enter with my credentials, and I'm going to sign in to that account. After I sign in to that to the account, I will notice that Ubidots doesn't appear over here. It is a completely customized IoT platform that can be under your company brand account. And as you notice, it just took us a couple of minutes to set up this integration. We have the WisNode button that can quickly and easily be configured over 80 commands. Then we just need to handle some setups on the platforms, then some integration and understanding how the Ubidots platform can interconnect the different features to take advantage of all of them. And you will be able to create your own system, and you can just change all the look and feel of this dashboard as you prefer, as well as the device section. For example, here, if I go into the device section, you will notice that it's like keeps with the same brand, and the colors that I assigned over here are the same that I said previously set up. Just one thing over here changed. These are not more orange, but now are gray. But it's up to you to just edit the application, going to, for example, the branding, then add your logo, add the background that you would like to have over there, change the different colors of how you would like to highlight the different parameters on the platform. And here in the downside, you can see how we will look like at the end. And also you can set up your own domain and offer like the platform server on your site. So this is pretty cool because you can handle like different kind of organizations and users and offer this as a like as an in a system for any solutions that you would like to tackle under the people's network. So basically, this was one of the things that I wanted to highlight. And there's one thing that I would like to do. I just hope this works. So let's see. I'm going to go to the dashboard over here. Then I'm going to check which was the last number of that I received on the number button 18 here. So I'm going to press the button, let's say 2. So I'm going to open the events modules over here in order to trigger an alert based on if my device reach out the number 15, I would like to, I don't know, set up a phone call, for example. So I'm going to create an event. I'm going to select the variable. Since I have the button 18 over here, I'm going to search for it. Okay, look for it. Okay, here we have it. And I'm going to select the total value of the button 2, since that is the one that is summing up all the number ones that are being received. So if the value of this variable is equal to 15, I want to do something. I want to take an action. And that new action can be a voice call, for example. So, hey there, variable name. This is a message that the phone call will be highlighting. Was triggered at that specific time. And also, I want to add another message, which is thanks for joining us today, RAKStars. So, at the voice, you can either select a girl or a man. I'm going to leave Alice. And also you can highlight what kind of language you would like to use over that phone call. And here I need to set up the phone number. I'm going to do it. I'm going to stop sharing my screen in a bit just to place the number. And I'm going to add it. So, okay. Add phone number. And you can add multiple phone numbers into that integration as well. So here, click, and after the here we have it once again. After the event is configured, you can set up if you want to trigger this just on a specific days like Monday to Friday, or if you want to also like allows them to get this notification on a specific time on range on during the day. So yeah, the event has been successfully set it up. So I'm going to press the button number 2. I have my phone over here. Let's see if this works. Button number 2. Button number 2 was press. Okay, give me just 1 second over here. Oh, okay, so I'm going to press the button 2. The button 2 is pressed and it was sent to the platform. So here I should be receiving a call in a bit. If I refresh this, button is number equal is number 2. I should have been receiving a call, but I'm not receiving it. No, why? Um, you can see the logs of the event. It was created, done, edit over here. It's equal to is greater than. Let's just quickly do. Okay, so I can press it once again. To. Okay, maybe I don't have signals. Why? This was going beautiful. Why live demos are like this? Let me unlock this and just try once more time. And if not, hmm. Okay, I don't know what it's happening over here during this like cool thing that I would like to highlight to you. Maybe I'm missing something on the configuration. The button 18. Mm. I am receiving the call. It takes a little bit more time. So here I am receiving the call. I'm going to answer it. Speaker.
Hey there, button number 2. Total was 18 at November 12th, 2021, 14:08 and 11 seconds minus 0500. Thanks for joining us today, RAKStars.
And here we have it.
Mm.
It takes a bit more on handle the call. But yeah, this is something that you can do, and you can set up like different kind of events, either SMS, emails, phone calls, Telegram messages, Slack messages, or set up another variable as well. For example, if you press a button, you would like to activate, I don't know, an automatic blind, you can just send a number one to another variable that is inside the Ubidots, and then just evaluate it and activate another thing. So yeah, I think that's like all for the demo that we bring for you today. We are already jumped out of the time for some minutes. However, not sure if someone of you have any questions. I am checking out the comments right now. We
It's
are
just yeah, basic.
yeah, basic
Yeah,
question about them. Okay.
was yeah, nothing too specific.
Okay, perfect. Well, guys, folks, I think this was all what we wanted to share with you today. The idea of this session is more to encourage more people to start building the application on top of on the people's network. Like, you have a powerful network right there that can help you to solve many problems for the different industries in the world, either like for logistics, manufacturing, smart cities, smart homes, agriculture. And you can just take the benefit of this network and building these kind of applications, either the ones that Jose shared, the GPS tracking one, or you can just start validating the coverage and start thinking what other relevant and cool things you can build in pro of any of this industry, and you can start solving many problems. So I don't know if someone of you want to add something else I think that it's time to closing up this session for today.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's good. I think keep building, especially with WisBlock. Yeah, it's very good. So,
Yes.
exactly.
and we have an education kit as well coming out, right? So that's
Exactly. We have an education kit that we had a session about it 2 weeks ago. If you, in case you want to learn more about it or you want to explore these for your kids, for example, it can be a relevant option for them to start exploring this really cool technology. And also having the ability to be just like to just set up the limitation of your minds, because the WisBlock, it is a like a modular platform that allows you to interconnect any type of sensor to build any kind of solutions. And the ecosystem is really big, but doesn't matter if the ecosystem doesn't have what you want to build, because as I always say, it's an open source tool that provides, and it's an open source tool that provides all the resources that you need, either on software or hardware, to develop your own hardware models and interconnect them to the system. So that's all for today. Jose, Johan, thanks for being here next with
thank
me
you,
and
Maria.
preparing all of this.
Thank you.
And see you next week. Also, thanks for all of those who joined us today, all of those who were chatting over the chat. We hope to see you next week. And as always, happy hacking, folks. Have
Happy
a
hacking.
great
Bye
weekend.
bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye. See ya.